Men don't gonna grow up aspiring to be a husband. That's just not how that works. Men grow up aspiring for legacy, sure, aspiring to make money, aspiring to be desired, sure. But in terms of being a husband, not so much. More times than not, we'll run into a woman, and again, it all starts off as sex. Let's just be honest here. We all grown,
It did.
but but if we get to spending enough time around you, and understanding the fact that, hey,
Did my husband see it as a non-negotiable for him if we were living together and being intimate and having children, or did he marry, or did he marry me despite that because y'all were a great match? I have to be honest. My husband at the time when we met, he was a 5 percenter. um, and that their thing was, I don't need to be married. Like if I say that you my woman, you my woman, right? And I wasn't okay with that. And but so that was what he said, and my response was, I plan on being married one day. That's fine, if it's that's what you believe, but it's going to be with you or either somebody else. And he made the decision that he did not want to lose me. I was worth it. And so he married me. But he'll anybody asks him, he's like, "Oh, I got married because of her." But it's true. I'm not offended by it, by no means. But that was my standard, and he felt that I wasn't worth losing, and so he stepped up.
thing is, that's why most men get married. If we're gonna keep it real, men don't gonna grow up aspiring to be a husband. That's just not how that works. Men grow up aspiring for legacy, sure, aspiring to make money, aspiring to be desired, sure. But in terms of being a husband, not so much. More times than not, we'll run into a woman, and again, it all starts off as sex. Let's just be honest here. We all grown,
It did.
but but if we get to spending enough time around you, and understanding the fact that, hey, she's here building me. Like, damn, she's making me a better man. She got me trying shit that I ain't never even tried, or thinking about things that I never even thought about. You know what I'm saying? Because men are, we real simple in terms of what it is that we want, but women bring that variety. Women bring that, uncomfortable, scenario. Hey, babe, let's go skydiving, or let's go zip lining, or let's go. And you like, what? Is it you never even thought of? Oh, we in the hood playing Madden and eating Wingstop. You talking about going zip line? I never heard of that. But okay, let me go try it. And I go try it, and you enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
again, yo, great women have a way of just opening your eyes to things that you never even considered. Marrying, marriage being one of them. But oftentimes it takes that boundary to be set. Men need that kick in the ass. That's just what it is. Because if not, we just gonna ride the ride. As long as we can, get all the benefits. Why push the coin in terms of getting married? It's gonna cost us a lot of money. We stand to lose a lot if it goes bad. All of those things. So men are not motivated to be married, but oftentimes it comes in a situation like Miss Taken just gave. It's like, okay, she done set this boundary, and it's like, well, damn, she not playing. And again, your woman. When she just talking to talk, or if she's like, okay, this is getting to a point to where marriage either got to happen, or I'm about to start thinking about doing something different. And as a man, you don't want to lose that, because you know how hard it is to find great women out here. More times than not, because you done had a lot of unhealthy experience with women. But that's another conversation. But hearing that makes us step our shit up, and it's like, okay, I was, I wasn't necessarily opposed to marriage before, but now I gotta make it more of a priority, because I don't want to lose this woman and what she brings. And if I lose her, it's gonna be a big ass void in my life that I'm not gonna just be easily able to just fill. So now we got to do what we got to do. And then after we get married, we tend to, we learn more about marriage, we learn more about the benefits from it. And then you have a concept hit you of like, wait a minute, we actually building something here. So now, not only am I just, in these handcuffs, right? But I'm striving to like build my family. Like, we are a unit. Like, my last name means something. So I want to make sure that, my wife is in the best of everything. My kids is in the best of everything. So just like I was striving to do as a single man, I want to strive to get that dope ass car. I want to strive to get that house. I want to strive. Now you have different things that you're striving for, but it's tied to family. You know what I'm saying? So it's like after the marriage is when a man tends to understand, okay, the importance of it. But
You know,
oftentimes it takes that boundary, that mistaken set for us to even get our mind going in that direction. So she right.
I wish there were more men, who were married to get together and have conversation and just talk about the benefits of being married. Because every man that I know who's been married, even the ones who have divorced, they always want to get married again. It's not like it's always the single guys who have like all these things against, being married. So I just think that.
Yeah, your life is more simple. Being married, man, it's just more simple. Again, men value routine. I've said that before, but especially when you have a quality woman in your corner, like I said, that's watching your six, that's making sure that you stand on your job, stand on your task, and it's not necessarily her holding you accountable, but because we in this scenario, and I know that her livelihood is tied to me, my child's livelihood is tied to me, I can't slip. I can't take a day off. I can't be complacent. I can't, you know what? I'll just get around to it. Nah, that they give you that, renewed fire, that sense of, okay, I got to go out here and solidify this shit. You know what I'm saying? So not only my current family can be good, but the generations after me can be good. So they give you a sense of purpose in that aspect. And oftentimes it take a man to be married for, decent amount of time before it actually hits us what it is that we're doing it for. So you're right. And I believe that a lot of like successful men just don't speak on it. And women in successful marriages don't necessarily speak on it. And that's the issue.
Because
We
they're too
only get the
busy at
bad
home
reviews.
enjoying their lives. They're not complaining.
Exactly.
Well,
It's
I
the,
mean, in the beginning of, I can say, even though he initially didn't, like, let's say, believe in getting married, I could say that he was much more marriage oriented than I was in the beginning. I knew, like, just because I grew up, my parents were married, their parents were married, we had a legacy of marriage in my mind, that's what you're supposed to do. So for me, it was knowing that I'm supposed to get married, but not necessarily knowing how to, I guess, stay married or the work that it takes to go into a marriage and be a wife and things like that. So there were a lot of hiccups, especially I'll say on my end along the way. But what I can appreciate and love is the fact that he loved me despite my shortcomings. And so in turn, that just made me appreciate him even more. I thought I was the prize, like, I'm the prize. But at the end of the day, I really know that I got a gift because I, like you were saying earlier, actually Lauren said that women love conditionally. And I think that's what made me love him more, is because of the unconditional love that he showed me. It taught me how to love him even better, even through my hiccups and trying to figure life out at the same time, that kind of stuff. And I think it's those things. That's why, like, when people talk about money, and I'm not saying that that's not important. You need money in a family, raising a family and things like that. But to me, it was one of the least things that I even focused on, because he was giving me for me, mine is that unconditional love, and I know where that comes from, in terms of it, my childhood. So that was something that I needed, and he was able to fill that for me. So anything else, it just really didn't matter, because that was my number one need, and he was able to fulfill that for me. So and the fact that, like I said,
Tara.
I wasn't okay. I wasn't the best, like doing all of the wifely stuff that y'all talk about in a manosphere. But for him, it was good enough. You know what I'm saying? And it made me want to do better.
I love y'all's story, but it's not going to change our wedlock issue. The question is, how do we? So what's the solution? I understand what Trill said, and I agree. Raise the standard. Maybe only have sex with a man who is showing that he's showing you that he's intentional. But the problem with that, Trill, because you also said that a man will wait 2 years just to get what he wants and then play you on the back end.
But that's your fault if he does, because he also said within that the man is not going to be consistent. He's going to be showing you things that you know he's not serious, that he's just waiting to get the cat. So if at that point you give it to him, that actually really falls all on you. That has nothing to do with him at that point. Nothing.
Gotcha. Any other advice? So that's y'all's answer to the parenthood, single parenthood. That's
Wear protection.
And wear protection.
You're not going to stop this. I'm going to be honest.
So
You're
like,
not going to stop this.
Sometimes you gotta fit. Let me stop. That's graphic. Okay.
You're not going to stop the sex. The sex isn't going to stop.
You
All
gotta
what
do a
you're saying
checkup.
is right. Is idealistic.
You gotta do a checkup.
It's idealistic, but realistically, the sex
It's
part
not
ain't going to stop.
It's got what?
It's not happening.
It's not.
You know, so you know, I understand why
Especially if it's good.
I understand why men won't stop, but we talk about over sexualization of women. But I just thought that women we're supposed to say no. You know, you can't get it. Try again. No.
What comedian say that?
Right.
Who's there's some comedian.